Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to predict on the 4-game CS:GO main slate on Saturday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, and esports daily fantasy sports slates. Esports including Call of Duty, League of Legends, and this one Counter-Strike CS:GO. So with that out of the way, let's jump into it. Before we get into players and their prices for this 4-game slate, what we can do is we can look back at my lineup here from Friday's slate. So this is my final lineup here. I had Q-Kurt, Device, Dupree, Hunter, Kenny S, and James. So, I went with a 2-2-2 stack. Those VP guys, their prices dropped a lot from that last slate, right? Remember, they're all above 9K. They all dropped a lot. Like, I think James was at like low 8s. Q-Kurt, I think it was like 7K. They're pretty cheap. Now, it looked good going into the third map. They had a dominant game 2, and they completely fell apart in game 3. They still did okay, but expected, could have been better if they'd performed better in that third map. The Astralis guys were the guys that really stood out for me. Device and Dupree. I mentioned Dupree being that risky, high upside value play, and he hit that upside, right? He's had a couple bad games, but I mentioned, again, he is the guy that seems to always be the first one in those gunfights, and he just had a great day. 48 and 25, put up 83 fancy points at 6.4K. Paired him with Device. Also had a really, really good day at 84 fancy points. I liked Zipex as well. I played him in my showdown slate. We'll get to that in a sec. But these are just the two that kind of fit my roster construction, were Device and Dupree. Hunter, Kenny S. G2 did end up winning that one. It was a close one, went to 3 maps. They were pretty solid. Nexa was the one that you really wanted, though. I think he had over 80 fancy points. It's a little unfortunate that I landed on the two of the lower ones, I guess, with Nexa again being the highest scoring one. But yeah, all in all, got into cash here in the $33 tournament. Not going to complain. The showdown slate was where I almost won some big money. So paired Device and Dupree in the captain spot, which is obviously what you had to do on the showdown slate, and then Nico and Zipex. The winning lineup was Device, Dupree, Nico, and Glave. So I was one off there. Had the 2 captains right. Obviously had Nico right. The Zipex Glave difference, I think, was like 10 points, so I missed out on first place was $5,000. I think like 10 other people had my lineup, so would have split that. Again, you would have got the first. I don't know what the math would have been. I would have got a good amount of money if I would have hit first. So came really close in the showdown slate, not complaining, still won up, $25. All in all, it was a good day, cashing all my contests, so can't complain at all. So let's see if we can keep it going here for Saturday's slate. So on Saturday 4-game slate, we have Hard Legions versus Windstrike. Windstrike at minus 175 favorites. Enigma versus Syman. This one right now is a pick'em. G2 and FaZe Clan. This one should be a fun one to watch. FaZe Clan minus 155 favorites. And Godsent versus North. Godsent at minus 165 favorites. So let's start with the first game of the day, Windstrike versus Hard Legions. I'm going to have that up here on hltv.org. Another cool stat is, too, they do have the head-to-heads. Then on these two teams have not played each other. But yeah, there's a lot of good info on here. They have past matches. They have what maps they do well on, right? So there is a lot of really good information on this website. But let's talk about Windstrike now. So Elon, Hobbit, Bondic, those are the top 3 guys. Those are really guys I have interested in this team. Elon leads the team at a pretty high 1.22 rating 2.0, 0.75 deaths per round, 0.75 kills per round, 0.56 deaths per round, which is really, really good. So Elon's a guy I do like a lot on this slate, even with him, being priced up. And then Bondic and Hobbit I have interested in as well as secondary options, both above a 1.0 KD. They are, again, the 2 and 3 on the squad, definitely. I don't know if I get to Crizin or Lack 1 on slate. I don't think we have to do it. So I do really like Elon. I think if you want to go that direction and pair him with either Bondic or Hobbit, I think that's probably the way I would go. But yeah, again, if I'm going to go with this Windstrike side, I would probably start my lineup first there with Elon, who, again, really does have good numbers there. 0.75 kills per round, 0.56 deaths per round. Let's talk about Hard Legions now. So Have their stats up on here. Forrester is the guy that leads the way here with a .75 kills per round, .67 deaths per round. Crad and Rage also have above 1.0 KDs. Crad doing a little bit more in the killing department there with a .72 kills per round, .69 deaths per round, whereas Rage .62 kills per round, .59 deaths per round. If we look at their prices too, Forrester is the highest priced guy, followed by Crad, followed by Rage. Spyat and Kinky, I don't know if I get to them for value plays. I think if I was going to go this route, probably would be Forrester and pair him with Crad is probably what I would do. But again, I think Forrester, if I was going to go this direction, would be the guy I would look to first in this squad. He has put up over 100 there against Navi too. It's one of the best teams in CS:GO, put up 108 fantasy points. So that's kind of where my interest lies in that game. I think this game, kind of like all these other games, it feels like is going to go a little bit lower owned just because we don't have as big of names. I feel like, right? We have the FaZe G2 game, which will be, I think, pretty popular. But yeah, that basically wraps up. Let's move on to the next game here. We have Syman versus Nemiga Gaming. Again, this one's a pick 'em right now. Also have this one up on hltv.org. Let's see. So Nemiga Gaming right now leads the head-to-head 2 wins to 1. Again, they have what maps each team are good at, right, and the win percentage. Let's talk about the Syman side first. So if we're just scrolling through the stats here, nothing really stands out, as like a guy that really carries the team, right? I mean, it is Kiaz that has the best stats at a .69 kills per round, .70 deaths per round. Again, this is the last 3 months. But it's not like one guy really carries the team. Now, if we're just looking at the Draftkings stats, Kiaz does have by far the best stats here. They only have 3 games up, but 67, 82, and 76 fantasy points, all really, really solid KDs. So recently, he's been the guy that's doing the best. Overall, he does slightly the best. Norbert there at the top at 8.4K. I would much prefer getting to Kiaz there for less. So don't think I get to Norbert at that price. More contrarian option. I think it'd be Kiaz followed by Mao at 6.8K if you want to pair him with someone. I just think that's a pretty solid price tag if you want to go that route. So, yeah, Kiaz would be the guy I would look to there on the Syman Gaming side. The downside is no one really stands out as like an amazing play, but Kiaz at that price would probably be the guy I would look to the most there. And then on the other side, Nemiga Gaming, I think once again it's Lollipop 21K and Speed 4K for me. Jaiwoo's fine as well, but he had a really good game the other day. I think that kind of is going to raise his ownership a bit. I think he had 60 fantasy points. It's not amazing, but he had the best day out of these guys, I believe. So Lollipop 21K only had 43, and Speed 4K only had 34. But the other guys in this team with MDS and Box, I don't think I get to them. Again, I think it's probably Lollipop 21K and Speed 4K for me. I think Speed 4K probably be my favorite play for his price. He's got a pretty solid .69 kills per round, .62 deaths per round, 1.07 rating 2.0, and he is right in the middle there. You're getting a pretty big discount out Lollipop 21K, so I would prefer Speed 4K. I think he's my favorite play on the squad. Probably would look to pair him with Lollipop 21K. I think Jaiwoo's ownership might be a little bit higher than it should be. Not saying he's a bad play. I just think I prefer the guys above him and below him. Next, we have North versus Godsent. So this one right now is Godsent are -170 favorites. And this is a side where we'll talk about the Godsent side in a sec, but I do really like the Godsent side for this match. First of all, I guess we will talk about the North side. So North is still playing with their coach, Jumpy, who has absolutely terrible stats, a .43 kills per round, .71 deaths per round. So just cross him off. Don't even consider him. Everyone else is kind of hovering below 1, not great. And then you have AZ, who obviously does stand out here, right? .74 kills per round, .68 deaths per round. He is the guy that has flashed most upside this team by far. I think he had like a 100 fantasy point day. Yeah, 108 there against Contact. So that is the good thing, right? That Jumpy being on that squad really forces the other players to do more because Jumpy's just not going to do a lot statistically, right? He's not going to get a lot of kills. So that puts more pressure on guys like at the top at AZ. So if North can pull off this win, you're probably going to see a big, big game from AZ. So I think he makes for an interesting contrarian option on this slate. And if I was going to pair him with someone, it probably would be Gade at 5.8K, just because the price tags compared to MSL Cajun being Gade they're all pretty similar to me if we're just looking at their stats, and Gade's the cheapest at 5.8K. So probably would be easy to pair him with Gade if I was going to go that route. Now, I don't think I'm going to. I think I really like the Godsent route because, Jumpy being on the squad really does hurt them. I think Godsent should be able to win this one, and their price tags are pretty appealing here. So we have Madden, Zen, Styko, and Makalele, 8.6K, 7.8K, 7K, and 6.4K respectively. Crystal's the guy I would just cross off and don't even consider because look at Crystal stats, a 0.5 kills per round, 0.71 deaths per round. So that's basically a cross-off. Makalele's an interesting play. I think he's an okay value option. I just think I like the other options a little bit more with Zen, Styko, and Madden. And if we're talking about Draftkings prices, right, Madden, Zen, Styko, I'm going to prefer Zen and Styko just for the price tags, right? 7.8 and 7K. I like the price tags a little bit better than Madden there at 8.6K. Not saying Madden's out of play. If you want to go the full Godsent stack, I think you can play those three guys at the top. I don't hate that idea. Or if you want to save a little bit of money, go Makalele. I think he's viable as well. My favorite two plays there are Styko, Zen. And Godsent's the side I really like. I do think they win this one because I think Jumpy really does hurt that North squad. So I'm probably going to look to get at least two Godsent players in my lineup here. Again, Zen, Styko really stand out to me, but I think Madden at the top, Makalele for a little bit cheaper are viable as well. Lastly, we have FaZe versus G2. So FaZe minus 155 favorites. The price that really stand out to me is Nico. 8.2K. I don't understand what Draftkings is doing with the price tag here. I know they lost to Astralis, but he still put up a decent day in an 0-2 loss. Yeah, I really like this price. 8.2K. He's one of my favorite plays of the day. He was in the 9 to 10K range, right? Now he's at 8.2K. And FaZe are favored in this one. I think this is a rare scenario where if you want to run like a two-man G2 stack and run it back with Nico, I think that is certainly viable on this one just because of that price tag. I just think he's way too cheap. Nico's one of my favorite, if not my favorite play of the day here. I love him. I think I'm going to start my lineup with him and kind of go from there. So yeah, I really like Nico there at that price point. And then you have coldzera, Brokey, and Rain. So the next guy that stands out to me here is Brokey for his price at 6.8K. Again, they all kind of struggled there against Astralis, so I'm not super worried about that. Astralis is one of the best teams. Again, G2 is a solid team as well. But the price tag here at 6.8K does stand out. He was in the high 7s, low 8s. Right now he's at 6.8K. He was the AWPer. He's their AWPer. I know Nico was using the AWP a little bit that last game, which is interesting. We didn't really see that a whole lot. But, yeah, those are the two guys. I love Nico, and I think Brokey is really too cheap as well. We have seen upside games from Cold and Rain. I think those guys are certainly viable as well. Olaf Meister, I think, is okay for value at a 5.2K price tag if you want to go that route, if you want to go more of that Stars and Scrubs build. But I don't necessarily know if you have to do that. There's a lot of really good plays in the mid-tier. No one's really too expensive on the slate. Again, Nico at 8.2K. Those Godsent guys are in like the 7K range. So yeah, I don't really know if you have to go super value plays, right? So really like Nico, really like Brokey. Those would be my two favorite plays on the FaZe side. Then finally, the G2 side. So we have Hunter, Kenny S, and Nexa. Hunter is the most expensive at 8.6K. I think for his price tag of those top three guys, he is just my least favorite. It's just a price tag thing, right? I think they're all very similar plays, but when I can get a almost 2K discount for Nexa or like a $1,000 discount for Kenny S, I'm going to take that all day. So Kenny S mentioned him as having a bounce back game after two bad games. He had a pretty solid day there against Vitality, 62 fantasy points. Had a really good game one. I thought they're going to get the 2-0. They're up 10-5. They choked it, and then I was like, oh no, they're going to choke game 3, but they ended up closing it out. Yeah, Kenny S at this price point, right? He's been a little bit up and down, but we know the upside is pretty high with him. He's using the AWP, which is obviously a plus as well. So yeah, I do like Kenny S. I do like Nexa a lot. He's been really good the last couple of games. I don't think they had that most recent game up there. Maybe they do. I thought there was maybe one game missing, but 83 fantasy points against Vitality. You'll take that all day for Nexa. So yeah, I think he's a really solid play for that price as well. Armanac, I don't think I get to for his price. I much prefer Jax at 5.2K. I don't really know why Jax is a lot cheaper than Armanac. So I think you could run, again, a stack here of G2 if you want to get two of those guys at the top and pair them with Jax. I don't think that's the worst idea. Jax is probably my favorite value play for his price. A 5.2K price tag for Jax is really too cheap if you want to go this G2 route, right? So I think that kind of wraps it up. Again, I think this, maybe these first 2 games go a little bit lower owned, but there's definitely some upside there. I got Elon on the Wind Strike side. Um, on the Hard Legion side, we have Forrester. On the Syman side, it's probably Kiaz and Mao for me. On the Nemiga Gaming side, it's probably Lollipop 21K, Speed 4K. I might get a piece or two from one of these early games, but I think the way I'm gonna go right now is probably a Godsent stack and Nico. And I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that last game. I'm probably for sure gonna play Nico as well. But do I pair him with a Brokey, or do I pair Nico, maybe go a little bit more contrarian build and pair him with like G2 guys and just kind of hope for a close game? That's something I'm considering, and I haven't really made my final decision on yet for what I'm going to do. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for the video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, we really appreciate if you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Really close to 3.2 thousand subscribers. So yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe, staying healthy. I'll be back for another video. I think we have a slate for Sunday as well. So yeah, thanks again, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.